All right, so around this time last year, City of Trees was cleaning up a lot of them that fell over. You may remember these images here. The winter storms of January 2023 kicked off the year with damage all across the Queen City. Now we're reflecting on the lessons learned and what the city plans to do in the future if storms like this hit once again. And joining us this morning is Mayor Darrell Steinberg to talk about all of this. Let's kind of go back in a little bit of a time machine. What were your thoughts when you saw the initial damage a year ago?
Well, I had rarely seen anything like it. It was really a once in a many decade event, but I will tell you, I was so proud of the city of Sacramento and the residents. And I was really proud of the city workforce because what I saw was an emergency operations response in real time. The way that our city workforce helped clean up the city, the way our public safety personnel responded to emergencies, the way that the residents supported one another. I mean, when you think about all that devastation and the way that the city looked with the trees down and all, it's pretty remarkable that it was cleaned up, I think, at a pretty rapid pace.
Had to have been a learning moment. So how does that change the future response if something like this were to happen again?
Well, I think we're prepared. I mean, we are prepared to address it in the same way. The key is to make sure that every arm of the city family or the city government knows their part of the mission and knows how to work with the other parts of the city. I mean, we really developed some muscle, I think, around how to deal with these kinds of emergencies. Now here, this isn't your question, but we're applying that same logic now to homelessness, which I know is of most import to the people. We're actually employing an emergency operations kind of response where every arm of the city, led by the fire department, is leading on the outreach out in these encampments. And we're beginning, and I say just beginning, to see the right kind of results.
All right, so elections, both federal and local, top of mind for a lot of folks. Not so much for yourself, though, these days. Not that you're having to take it easy, but what's it like to basically be on the outside looking in terms of folks who are running for re-election? Especially, again, your seat's going to be up.
Well, I'm in my 28th year of elected public service, and it is a little odd to not be on the ballot, but it feels good. I made a positive decision, and there's a very competitive mayoral race, which I think is good for the city. And, you know, the one thing that I would say as people look at the mayor's race is educate yourself about the role of the mayor in this particular city government, because I believe I've been a, quote, strong mayor, but the city charter says the mayor is one of 9, and we have a very good city manager who runs in many ways the city. And so what I've always said is there's a big distance between accountability, which is very, very high, and authority. I'm not complaining, but I'm saying for the future of the city, I want people, the voters, to at least understand that and to modulate, if you will, what they expect of their mayor in this kind of a system.
I know it's still very early on. Do you think that at some point you might endorse somebody?
I may. You know, for now, I think you've got 4 good candidates, and I'm watching it very closely. And, you know, I understand that all the candidates say, I will do it better for this reason, and they should, because I want the next person to do it even better than the way I did it. And at the same time, I want to make sure that all the candidates level with the people about what the role of the mayor is in this city government, and the other parts of the city, the county, the region, the state that are necessary in terms of partnership to make the difference. I think we've done, look at, I've led through COVID, I've led through a rightful racial reckoning, I've led through some historic times, and I know that under my mayorship, we have laid a foundation for, I think, even greater progress. The city's getting back its momentum. The downtown, economically, Sacramento's being seen as a place for folks on the outside to not only move, but industry, and maybe we'll even get baseball.
All right. Again, a lot of things, very fluid. You still have some time on the clock, so
10 months.
Yeah, you do. All right, Mayor Steinberg, we really
appreciate
your time this morning.
Thank you so much.